Dr. Onya has been going over what are called quartal harmonies this week. Typically, 3 notes, can be more. What is a quartal in the first place? It's what happens when you take perfect fourths and stack them up. But it doesn't have to be perfect fourths, and this is where it gets really interesting. If I take we've got a really huge quartal harmony here. There's obviously 4 more notes left that I could include to have all the notes of the scale, right? I'll have to use the pedal, and you'll have to bear with some of the notes disappearing. Right? It's a magnificent sound, and a lot of composers in the 20th century exploited it quite a bit. This is one of the most common quartals, often used as a left-hand voicing or as part of a left-hand voicing. This is a modified quartal that shows up in the song So What. You'll notice it's perfect fourths with a third on top, major third. But to go back to this, now, if you want to analyze this on its own terms, this is a D dominant 7, sus4. There's no third. So this is a dominant sus4, or a D7 sus4. And it's also perfect fourths. That's a perfect fourth, and that's a perfect fourth. But if I do this, now ignore the A flat, assume this is G sharp. Now we have an augmented fourth and a diminished fourth, because it's still G to C, even though this is G sharp to C and D to G sharp, right? By the way, I'm going to play things through 12 keys, so I don't want to have to stop and switch back and forth between flats and sharps. So you're going to see flats. Imagine some of them are sharps. Go with me on this, please. All right. If that's a G sharp, then this is still a quartal, because we've got augmented fourth and then a diminished fourth. This is a dominant 7, sus, no third, sharp 4. Some people would say it's a dominant 7 flat 5. Okay, fine. You know, this chord does show up in Duke Ellington's repertoire. For instance, it's the second chord of Take the A Train. Dominant 7 flat 5. It's called that too. But in this case, let's call it, just for purposes of this study, it's a dominant 7, sus, no third, sharp 4. This is a major 7. Imagine that's a C sharp, and this is a G sharp. So we've got D, G, C. It's still D, G, C. D, G sharp, C sharp, which means it's still a quartal. This is an augmented fourth, and this is a perfect fourth. Okay? So we're still dealing with fourths here. And then this one, this is a perfect fourth and an augmented fourth. And we have a major 7 chord with the sus4. And those are really the 4 possibilities. And with those 4 different things, you can do all kinds of marvelous, marvelous stuff. It's a way to expand your melodic language and your harmonic language beyond thirds, which is what most music up until the 20th century was based on. And it's what we're most familiar with. Thirds are lovely. They're sweet. They're pretty. They're more predictable. They're more comforting. Quartals challenge us, and they can be frustrating, but they can also be quite beautiful. One of the ways to play with these that I found really exciting when I was first introduced to them was to use them in pentatonic scales, specifically this one. If I use this on a C pentatonic scale, minor, I get this. these notes. And it has a wonderful quality when you use it over a blues. So I really fell in love with that. That was my first way of exploring it, right? But then you can also use it if you need not that quality. If you use the major pentatonic, then you're going to get a more, what you could call a Lydian sound, because you're going to get this note in there because of if you maintain perfect fourths. Notice I changed it to accommodate the. So you can have a lot of fun with this and explore things. Now, will you get lost? Yes. Will it give you a headache? Yes. Is it worth it? Yes. It's absolutely worth the effort. Now, you can also 2, 5, 1. My dog is barking. Poppy, go to bed. Sorry about that. What is this? This is a D minor 11. There's your third, there's your seventh, there's the 11th. This is a G13. There's your seventh, there's the third, there's the 13. This is a C6-9, 3, 6, and 9. This is that familiar quartal. This is a G dominant 7, sus4. This is an F major 7, sharp 4. And an E dominant 7, sus4. Of course, I can use them in my left hand while I play something in C. And as long as you make sure that people can hear you're in the key of C, with this, it'll make these make sense. Obviously, you can throw in some bass lines if you want to make it more obvious. That's other ways to play with it. To practice this, I contend taking it through minor thirds, taking it through perfect fourths, taking it ascending perfect fourths, descending perfect fourths, if you want to do that too, right? Either direction around the cycle, right? Counterclockwise gives you ascending perfect fourths. Clockwise gives you descending perfect fourths or ascending perfect fifths, right? Both are useful. Both are helpful. Minor thirds are helpful. Chromatic, helpful, etc. I would start with perfect fourths ascending because you hear that so much. 2, 5, 1. You hear that all the time. So, if we say, this is a B major 6-9. Now, if I'm really just learning it for the first time, I'm just going to move it parallel. And there's E major 6-9. The jumping lets me know that I know what it is. A major, A6-9. D major 6-9. G major 6-9. C 6-9. F 6-9. B flat 6-9. E flat 6/9, A flat 6/9, D flat 6/9, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B. You know, this kind of thing, there's no reason to think it's beneath you or that you don't need to do it. Or, I mean, it's kind of boring, yeah, but it's also beautiful. So enjoy the sound of it. Once you've got that, though, you can start to play with the inversions of this. There's B major with 6/9, B 6/9, but this is E major 7 with the 13th. See, there's the 7th, there's the 3rd, and there's the 6th with the 13th. So we've got B 6/9, E 13, A 6/9, D 13, D major 13, not D 13, which is a dominant, but D major 13, G 6/9, C major 7, add 13 or add 6, whichever way you want to look at it. F major F 6/9, B flat major 13, E flat, A flat major, D flat major, G flat major, B major, and we're back to where we started. Now, if you change one note, guess what? Now we're doing dominant 9 chords. Dominant 9, dominant 13, B9, E, egg 13, A9, dog 13, G9, car 13, right? F9, B flat 9, B flat 13. That's not a quartal. There. E flat 9. Now, why is this a quartal? Well, because all I'm doing is moving that up. See? So this is an augmented fourth. G flat 13, B9. Right? You get some other interesting things happening when you start messing with minors, right? Because you can say, let's see, I haven't done this yet, so this may be interesting. Yep. That's moving parallel. How do I move it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe put the 3rd in here, right? That's why it's so much fun to explore these things, because you don't know what you're going to find. I had no idea how I was going to deal with this issue. Explore melodies, play in cycles, play in major, play in thirds. You know, obviously you can do that. You could play, let me see. That's in minor thirds, right? Major thirds is interesting too. See. That's the dominant with a raised 9, sharp 9. That's interesting. That's the melody you get. Like I said, there's all kinds of things out here that you can discover playing with this stuff. But remember, you've only got 4 of these. There's this one. There's our starting place. There's this one. There's this one. And then there's this one. And what bass note you put underneath it gives you a whole different set of possibilities. Have fun and practice and enjoy your practice. See you soon.